Why can middle school suddenly expose an access drop in a level 1 autistic child with a PDA profile when elementary school looked completely manageable? Because parents hear this all the time, but they were fine in elementary school. Exactly. And that's why everybody gets so blindsided. Your child didn't suddenly become more autistic. The load changed. And when load changes, access can change too. Think about elementary school. Maybe they had one primary teacher, one classroom, familiar routines, fewer transitions, more scaffolding. Now take that same child and put them in middle school. Different teachers, different classrooms, bells, lockers, crowded hallways, more homework, more complicated friendships, more executive function demands, and more pressure to manage everything independently. And for a child with a PDA profile, think about how many demands are embedded in that day. Get to class, sit here, take this out, put that away, start this, stop this, work with this person. You have 3 minutes. And everybody looks at each demand individually and thinks, that's not a big deal. But through the Village of Little's nervous system lens, I'm not looking at one demand. I'm looking at the pattern of load accumulating across the entire day. Because as load builds, access can change. Your child may know how to transition. They may know how to start work. They may know how to ask for help. They may know how to handle a change and still become less able to reliably access those skills under load. The skill didn't disappear, access did. And that's an access drop. Maybe first period, they're in an available state. And by fourth period, they're in a strained state. They're still functioning. Maybe they're still doing their work, but now they're more rigid. They're taking longer to start. They're asking to leave class. They're losing access to flexibility. And everybody says, they're fine. But a strained state doesn't always look like falling apart. Sometimes strained looks like a child working incredibly hard to hold it together. And then they get home. You give them the wrong snack. Their sibling makes a noise. You mention homework. And suddenly they're in a protective state. And now everybody asks, what happened at home? Maybe nothing happened at home. Maybe you're starting the pattern 6 hours too late. And if transitions are already difficult for your child, there may be load building before middle school even starts. That's anticipatory load. Who will my teachers be? Where will I go? Who will I sit with? What if I'm late? What if I need a break? What if I can't find my classroom? Your child doesn't have to say they're anxious for uncertainty to add load. So before middle school starts, I want to know, what does their available state look like? What are their first signs of a strained state? What predictable load will middle school